Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to sew up week 3 of the Forest Fabric Studio Lilacia or Lilacia, however you pronounce it, love quilts along. The first week we did all the cutting and we did that big pinwheel block that you see in the center of the wall behind me there. And then last week we did all 12 of our piano key blocks. So this week we are going to do our star point blocks. We have 4 of these to make and I've already looked ahead and they look pretty easy, so I think this is going to go together really fast. So let's get started. Okay, for this week's blocks, you're going to need your A fabrics, which is our background squares, or background fabrics I should say, the 8.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles, the 4.5 by 4.5 inch squares, and then you're going to need your C, D, and E fabrics. The C fabrics are these 4.5 inch squares, and your D and E are your 9.25 inch squares of the purple and the green. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this green piece on top of the purple, lay them right sides together, draw a line corner to corner, which I've already done just to save some time, and then we're going to sew 1/4 inch on either side to make 2 half square triangles. And you're going to have 2 pieces of green and 2 pieces of purple, so you're going to do this twice. So we're making 4 blocks all together this week. Okay, I've sewn either side of the line. Set these aside for a second. And now I'm going to cut this apart right on that line that I drew. So let me grab my ruler, and I've got my rotary cutter. Just going to lay this right on that line and cut those apart. And then we're going to want to press these. I am going to press mine towards the purple probably, yeah, because it's the darker fabric. It doesn't matter really which way you press them as long as you press them all the same. Okay, close that, put the ruler away, and I'm going to grab my ironing over here. We're going to give these guys a press, and then we're going to trim them down to 8.5 inches square. So if you've got a square ruler, now would be a great time to use it. If you don't, you can use your rectangle ruler. It just makes it a little bit easier if you've got a square ruler. If you've got the large size block lock, that works really well. I don't know if there's a large of the perfectly slotted trimmers for people that have those. I think mine goes up to 6.5 inches, not 8.5, so that wouldn't work for this. But I know the block lock comes in a larger size. Forgot my acorn. Okay. There we go. All right, and don't forget to do this times 2, so you're going to have 4 of these half square triangles. I'm going to grab my square ruler over here, and I'm going to lay the diagonal line on my ruler right on the diagonal that I sewed and find the 8.5 inch mark. And I'm going to trim this all the way around. So I'm going to start by trimming 2 of the sides. And then, oops, missed that little dog ear there. And then turn it around and do the other 2 sides. So we're going to do that for all 4 of your blocks. I'm going to go ahead and trim up this other one. So as you can see, it's not too hard, especially if you have a square ruler. So grab one of those, pull it on out. I have a couple squares, but this one's a 10.5 inch, and I find with almost every pattern that this seems to be plenty large enough for everything that I do. I have one larger and I have smaller ones, but the smaller ones I don't tend to pull out. I like the fact that even with smaller squares that I have room to have my hand on here while I cut and not have to worry that my hand's going to be away and I'm going to cut it. So I like this size. It's a good one if you can only get one. Okay, so those are done. So I'm going to set those guys aside just for a minute. Close my rotary cutter here. Set those aside for just a second here, and I'm going to go ahead. We don't need that quite yet. And I'm going to grab my rectangles. And you're going to have 8 of these, and then we're going to take these squares and draw a line corner to corner on the back. You can see I've already made my lines, and we're going to make flying geese. So I'm going to start with the typical way you do flying geese, so corner to corner, starting in the middle, going to the top, or whichever way, and then we'll trim this, press it, and then we'll add the other side the same way. You're going to do this for all 8 of your rectangles. I'm going to use that same ruler, just trim that a 1/4 inch away from where I just sewed. And we're going to give this a press. That side's done. Now we're going to add the other side here. Now if you're doing all 8 at once, which we're doing 1 block together, so I'm not going to do all 8 with you here on camera, but I would just chain piece all 8 on the one side, trim them, press them, and then move to the other side for all 8. Okay, I'm going to trim this guy away. And do the same thing. We're going to press him. Okay, there we go. All right, so you should have 8 of these. Now, you're going to 4 of these, you're going to attach the white background squares that you have. So it's going to go just to the left of this guy right here. So that you're going to do it to 4 of those. And then we're going to give this guy a press. And I'm going to press this guy towards the white, and you'll see why in just a few minutes. Okay, so there's that piece. Now, put one of these aside. I'm gonna grab another one of my flying geese, and I'm gonna attach this to the left-hand side right next to the purple, not the green over here. We want it on the purple. We're gonna be attaching the light purple to the dark purple. And the same thing with this. We're gonna attach the purple to the purple, but we have to start with the side, the left-hand side. Okay, so remember how I said I'd show you in a minute why we press that out? Because this one, because of the flying geese, we're going to want to press this one in. That way we don't create extra bulk. All right. Now we can join these together. And that one's pressed in, that one's pressed out, so these should nest up really nicely. Okay, there we are. There is our block. All I need to do now is give this a press and make my other 3, and we're done. That's it for this week. Nice and simple. Well, that's a wrap for week 3 of the Lilacia Love, or Lilacia, however you want to say it, Sew Along from Fort Worth Fabric Studio. This week was so fun, nice and easy, beautiful blocks. As you can see, I have 3 on the wall behind me, and here's the 4th. So you guys can have a little bit closer up look. As I say every week, this fabric is gorgeous. I actually told Jody, the owner of Fort Worth Fabric Studio, that this has been one of my favorite sew-alongs so far. I've loved every sew-along I've done with them, but this fabric is so beautiful, and on top of it, it sews nicely, it irons nicely. I just love it, and I think we're gonna have an amazing quilt. So thank you guys for sewing along with me. Can't wait till next week to see what blocks we're making, and then the week after that is the final put together. So just a few short weeks, we're gonna have a gorgeous quilt. If you are just finding me now, or finding Fort Worth Fabric Studio now, you can go ahead and go over to their website and download all the patterns. The patterns are always free for their sew-alongs. They still have quilt kits available, so if you'd love to have this fabric, because it's gorgeous, and it's even prettier in person, I'm telling you. But there's still some kits available. Or you can sew your stash. You're always welcome to sew your stash. But go ahead and check out both of those links. You'll have to download the PDF every Monday morning. It comes out at, I believe it's 8 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, or no, I always get the time zone screwed up. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, and then the videos come out an hour later. So go ahead and go download that PDF now. Again, the link for the patterns is down below. And I would love it, and Fort Worth would love it, if you would join their Facebook group if you're on Facebook, so you can share your progress pictures, not only if you've bought the kit, but also if you're sewing your stash, so we can see your progress. We love seeing that. We love seeing all the people sewing along and your share. So I hope you'll go over there and join. If you do decide to join the Facebook group, if you're not already a member, you'll have to answer a few questions and be let in, but after that, you'll be good to go and you can post pictures. So I hope you'll go ahead and do that. All right, well, that's enough talking out of me. I hope you enjoyed this week's sewing. Like I said, as you can see, it was fun and quick and easy, so it's nice to have a quick, fun week, especially after making 12 blocks last week, although they weren't hard, they just took some time. But this was a fun week, so I will see you next week, next Monday, for week number 4, and then we're almost there. Yay! All right, guys, take care and have a great day. Bye!